Welcome, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Boss Talk. I'm your host, Beverly Brister, and I am very excited to talk with my guest I have today, Holly Cooper. Beyond her being the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Hope Enterprise Corporation, she is the gold standard when it comes to marketing and PR. Her exceptional 25-year career has taken her from New York to Tennessee, and her work has made major news out of the NFL, the NBA, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and many other places. And, she has such an extensive resume. I can go on, but I'll let you experience just how beautiful she is and how powerful she is with her expertise and her experience. And she is my sister friend, Holly Cooper. Welcome, Holly.
Hi, Beverly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so delighted to be on the show and have this opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And, to talk about our history, it could be a Netflix series. So I'll just keep it short and sweet. I appreciate you and thank you again for being here. So I'll just get started. Tell me, what inspired you to get into marketing and PR?
Well, it's interesting because I studied mass communications and public relations at Buffalo State College and wanted to be a sportscaster and eventually received Sportscaster of the Year. So I started at my college station, but there were very few women sportscasters, and I didn't have women mentors that could really provide the direction needed to launch my career in this area. However, I did take a different road and freelanced with the NBA for All-Star weekends for 4 years in a row. But I love to craft messaging and tell stories that resonate with consumers. So early in my career, I had the privilege of working with some iconic people and marketing campaigns that had a tremendous impact on company profits, brand reputation, and national public relations results. So an example would be during my time at Stedman Graham and Partners advertising agency, I had the honor to work with the never forgotten legend Diane Carroll as we launched her signature fashion line at JCPenney. And initially the discussion was having a big celebrity star-studded fashion show at one of the elite New York City hotels. So I made the suggestion to have the launch at a new JCPenney that was located and opening in the Bronx. And theme was Diane Comes Home because she was born and raised in the Bronx. So I reached out to the local Bronx newspaper and asked the publisher to recommend 5 dynamic women who made a tremendous impact inside of the community. We invited them to the launch. The late, great Ozzie Davis was the MC, and Miss Diane honored each of the women at the event. The outcome received national coverage, and the sales in women's clothing increased by 17% in the first 6 months of the fashion launch.
Wow. That is amazing. Amazing. That is beautiful. And all the beautiful people that you brought together on that is just phenomenal that you were able to do that. But, I expect nothing less.
You know what's interesting? You have to know your consumer base.
Absolutely.
Having this big star-studded event at a New York City hotel, which none of the people that would have attended shop at JCPenney. So you want to speak to the audience that you then want to receive the benefits and to buy the clothes from this new launch line, fashion line. So it made sense. And Miss Carroll was extremely pleased. And like I said, we had tremendous results as a result of the launch and how we restructured it.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I know how much you love sports and PR, and you were able to combine the two and get the best of both worlds when you worked with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So, can you tell us a little bit about your accomplishments there?
Sure. I do have many proud moments at ALSAC, which is the fundraising arm for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Now, as the public relations manager, I worked closely with the strategic partnership team with the NBA, NFL, and FedEx St. Jude Classic. And for true sports fans who watch the NFL draft, you might have seen a St. Jude patient announce one of the drafts that would happen each year. And I had the honor of escorting those patients and families to those events and set up a national media opportunities for them. At the NFL, we also had a week long of activations at the Super Bowl. And my proudest moment was the 50th anniversary in San Francisco when the Denver Broncos beat the Carolina Panthers. And the big question of the entire week was, would Peyton Manning retire after that season if he won? So we had a St. Jude patient, his name was Austin, who was a dynamic young man and was a gifted sportscaster. And he was invited to interview Peyton Manning at the media day and impressed the entire sports world with his knowledge and line of questioning. But what was so adorable was he had received a tailored suit provided by Michael Strahan, who is a longtime St. Jude ambassador, NFL Hall of Famer, and most importantly, a New York Giants defensive lineman who helped us win several Super Bowls. And lastly, each year we had with the NBA, in conjunction with the NBA, there was an activation called Hoops for St. Jude Week. Now, through my relationship from growing up in New York City, you know a lot of people, we were able to have a St. Jude patient appear on Inside NBA on TNT, which will also be a lifelong memory for their families as well as me.
That is wonderful. I tell you, like the work that you do everywhere you go, like everything that you touch, it's just your heart just comes through, your passion and everything just helps things move along and people are connected, things happen, and beautiful experiences come from it. So that is just amazing, your work and your time there. And we hear all about the wonderful stories that St. Jude's does, all the work, the success stories, but unfortunately, there are times when sometimes the children lose the battle with cancer. And I know that you've worked directly with the families oftentimes while you had your time there. Can you tell us how you navigated those times?
Well, I want to start by saying people see the commercials all the time. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, the ALSAC division, has probably some of the most talented people in production, I would say, on the planet. And the way they are able to capture stories, everybody can relate to. You see it all of the time, and it really truly makes a difference because no families do pay to go to St. Jude. Their cost is covered, and it just makes such a tremendous difference. But I'll never forget the first time I received an email that a patient that I had just absolutely loved, her name was Hannah. She was 17 years old. She had the best smile. She had a beautiful spirit. But because of HIPAA laws, I had no idea that she had taken a turn for the worse and had passed away until I received this email. And I'll never forget, my vice president of communications called me into her office because she knew that I was not handling it well at all, and asked me if I was okay. And I said I wasn't. I did not understand that aspect of working there. It's different when you work in accounting or finance or another department that you do not get to really spend time with families and patients. But in my role as a public relations manager, I really touched a lot of the families and got to know a lot of the patients individually. And that's what was really challenging because you didn't realize that that was part of the job. Another patient was Austin, the one that I mentioned earlier. I escorted him and his family to many sporting events, and he finally lost his battle with cancer in 2028, 2029. So, you cannot say enough about the great work that takes place at St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, but it also comes with some things that are sad, that people don't really see that aspect of it unless you're actually in the mix of it.
Right, right. Yeah. And the way you've learned to handle it with such grace and care. And it's a learning experience, a growing experience. But if you go through it again, you can do it again with the same grace and care. And the families will feel the comfort and the love from that. So that's definitely appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's evident each time you move throughout your career, it's always been with a purpose. I can see it come through in your work, and just also from knowing you too. And your work, as you moved along to the Boy Scouts of America Memphis Council, was no different. You've had some exceptional moments there, where your work in diversity, equity, and inclusion made such a tremendous difference. Can you please talk about those crowning moments?
Thank you. I would say launching the Scouting Deserts program that
Mhm.
recruited African American scouts and building the path to become Eagle Scouts, also opening the door for girls to become scouts. And what I found so interesting is the girls entering into the Boy Scouts, they were so ambitious and they moved quickly to complete the requirements to earn the rank of Eagle. They were just so set and focused. But it's really the volunteers and the troop leaders that impact the lives of these youths. And I would also say that under the leadership of retired Chief Executive Richard Fisher, he was so passionate and intentional with recruiting African American staff to work at the council as well as our scouts. His guidance and mentoring has broadened my perspective on diversity within inside of established organizations. And I will say, and that's a picture of him, we were doing with one of our Eagle Scouts, another dynamic family that is part of the scouting program. And we did an interview on one of the local television shows.
Wow, just wow. That just, I just have no other words. It's just, again, your hand, you know, all that you do, and the difference that you're making, again, just positively affecting these families and these communities. It's just top notch. And so if no one else has said it, I want to say it. Thank you. I like to give
Thank
people their
you.
flowers while they're here, and definitely appreciate you for all that you do. And that is amazing work.
Thank you.
Now, I understand that happened when in the midst of a pandemic.
Yes.
And you were able to navigate the pandemic and still make those things happen. But you also had a personal crowning moment happen during that time too. Want to talk about that?
I did. So I was born and raised in Rockaway Beach in New York City and loved anything related to water. So during the pandemic, obviously it was all about safety, but I wanted to do something just for me. So I decided I would finally pursue getting my certification in scuba diving at the dive shop in Memphis. And because of the pandemic, they gave private one-on-one lessons, which was even better. So
Mhm.
once I received my open water certification, I met with some friends in Belize and did my first real dives. And I
Wow.
will tell you, it is such an amazing experience swimming 100 feet below water, underwater with fish and sharks and stingrays and jellyfish and other water occupants that you want to make sure you respect their space as you want people to respect your space. Yeah, it is definitely something that if people love water, I suggest at least trying. But it
Wow.
just takes you in a whole nother place, just under the water, and just it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
The whole other world down there. Like I've kind of halfway done some snorkeling,
Mhm.
in the Caribbean, and just to see, like, there's a whole other life stream down there, and I don't want to disturb them. They won't disturb me. I try to keep the balance.
Yes. Respect their space. That's their home, and you are a visitor. And you want to
Absolutely.
be mindful when you're down there that you
Mhm.
are a visitor. Yes.
But such proud moments that you've had all this time, every step that you've made, and now to your current position here at Hope Enterprise Corporation. I can imagine it's just proud upon proud that you are doing even more now to help underserved communities, but also doing it through a minority owned organization. So tell us about those proud moments.
I could talk about this every day, all day. Hope is comprised of Hope Enterprise Corporation, Hope
Mhm.
Credit Union, and Hope Policy Institute. And we're dedicated to strengthening communities, building assets, and improving lives in underserved communities in Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Tennessee. We are the leading Black and women-owned financial institutions in the country, and we have provided financial services, leveraged private and public resources, and shaped policies that have benefited more than 2.7 million residents and has generated more than 3.9 billion in financing in the Deep South. So in anticipation of our 30th anniversary this year, last year we launched the most robust marketing and advertising campaign, Hope Makes It Happen. And we collaborated with the award-winning advertising agency, Austin Williams, produced by Elephant Quilt, and they are out of New Orleans, and directed by the most incredible, talented young brother, Abraham Felix, whose story related to the work that we are so proud of.
Wow. Wow. And you know what? We have that video, so let's take a look.
This is it. Our last night sharing a room. Tomorrow we'll be in our new home.
They told you buying a home would take years, but didn't care enough to help you start. Still, you kept trying.
You'll have a yard to play in, a place to dream.
Hope makes it happen. With tailored mortgage solutions and down payment assistance, Hope Credit Union makes home ownership happen for thousands of neighbors across the Deep South. We can help you too, regardless of income or credit.
I can't wait for the memories we'll make there.
Brighter futures begin with hope.
Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
touching, and just beautiful.
That's our demographic. We, majority of our members are women of
Mhm.
color. And we produced 5 powerful commercials. We have home ownership, we have small business, we have a brand campaign for people just really starting out, and we have an auto promotion, campaign. And I'll tell you, I'm so proud of this work because it reflects real life stories of
Mhm.
our members. And the reason, again, that I wanted to share this particular commercial is because we have a very aggressive campaign to eradicate the Black-white racial wealth gap with homeowners in the Deep South. And we want to invest 500 million in mortgage loans for 4,000 new homeowners. We want to expand benefits of first-time homeowners across the Deep South, and we want to have 29 million in home ownership affordability assistance. So we are focused and deliberate with the work that we do, and that's what makes it so proud and such an honor to work at this type of company.
That is, that's the crux of, when you talk about credit unions, the crux of why they were created in the first place, to really help communities were that were in the area, or that, folks that uh, were part of their community. And so that's amazing that you're actually you're a community organization that's really doing the work that they said they're going to do, and that their mission statement is true.
Yeah.
And you don't find that often. You find the mission statements posted somewhere, the folks are doing something different, but this is really, you're seeing it firsthand, and that's amazing work.
And 30 years ago, our CEO, Bill Bynum, founder and CEO of Hope, the reason that he started
Mhm.
credit union through a church, it started with Christian values, as we all have start that path, because people
Mhm.
were denied credit and loan opportunities that look like me and you.
Mhm.
And he wanted to make a change. And 30 years later, we're bigger, better, stronger. And the impact that we have in the Deep South is just undeniable.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Woo. Thank you. Thank you, Hope, and Hope makes it happen. And you've had some tremendous opportunities since you've been there too, of other great times that you've had, experiences, and just share a little bit of that.
Well, for one, each year we have a Hope Enterprise Corporation board meeting in one of our regions. And 2 years ago, we traveled to Montgomery, Alabama, and towards Selma and Birmingham to uplift the civil rights movement. And one of the things that was so special was going to the Edmund Pettus Bridge and actually taking a picture. Now, understand something, as the PR person, I had in my mind for weeks prior that this was going to happen. Now, anyone who has traveled this bridge knows that this is a functioning bridge. People
Right.
are traveling back and forth. So picture this group of board members and CEOs of major companies running in the middle of the bridge with the photographer ready, literally stopping traffic just so that we can capture this. And again, it's just life-changing to understand all of the history that took place on this bridge and that we had the opportunity to be there.
Wow. Wow.
And then here, last year, I was honored to participate in a women's empowerment forum in conjunction with the Magic City Classic. They have a week long of activations in Birmingham, Alabama. And I had a chance to spend time with an incredible team, with Hope. And I met Darren DeWitt, who was on the panel, who is an actor in BET's Family Business, Soul Food, and many more. And I want to give a big shout out to the retail team and to this team, because it's just dynamic people that are in this picture. And special thank you to Stephen James, Celine Beard, and who was on the panel. She was one of the panelists for making this happen and doing the introduction with Darren. The next picture, you are seeing the leadership team. Is Bill Bynum in the jacket. Next to him is Pearl Wicks. She is our Chief Operating Officer, myself, and Ed Sivak. That is my manager. And I will tell you the passion and the commitment, and he's one of the smartest people I've ever worked with, and one of the kindest that I've ever worked with. And it just shows you the reason that people have stayed there so long, because they believe in the mission. This was the GCAC basketball championship last year that we all came out to. And then this is the most recent GCAC championship that we had in Tuscaloosa. And that is a picture with Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes, who is the commissioner of the GCAC. And, you know, what I love is that they're doing amazing work with inside of HBCU space. And it has helped us expand our footprint in the HBCU community. Now, however, over the years, we have provided funding for HBCUs in the Deep South, but this partnership really elevates our profile. And we recently, the championship was amazing, and we are looking forward to, we just extended our title sponsorship for 3 more years. So looking forward to seeing what that's going to look like. But I'm so excited about the growth of the GCAC and the name.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Just amazing work that you've done. Amazing. Just all the experiences. And it's just, I'm sure you probably pinch yourself sometimes when you come into the office, because it's just like, I'm really experiencing this. I'm seeing these folks and I'm seeing the result. Oftentimes we do a lot of work, you know, either the grunt work, the high level work, whatever it is, we don't always get to see the results. We have to move on to the next project. It's nice that you're able to have the work done, be a part of the work, and actually see it come to fruition. And
Yes.
I'll just say it's a blessing to be able to do that and experience that. So
It is absolutely a blessing, and it's a privilege to be able to do this type of work. and really impact people's lives. Generational wealth, it starts with buying a home, and then that's what you pass on to the next generation. And without that one piece, it's very hard to have generational wealth. We're very deliberate and intentional, and that's why Hope Credit Union is such a special place.
Yes, definitely. If I lived down in the Deep South, I would definitely be a part of Hope.
Well, here it is. I mean, in terms of the products and services adjoining Hope, you do have to live in one of the 5 states. But if you want to support the work that we do, because this is how we finance the stuff that we do, the products and services that we provide, we have a platform service. It's a product, transformational deposits. And it's CD, short and long term. And anyone in the country that wants to do great work with inside of the Deep South, we really encourage them to open a transformational deposit.
Okay. All right. And they'll be able to go to the website to start that?
That is correct.
Okay. So they can visit hopecu.org
Yes.
for that. Okay. Great. Now, I'll switch gears a little bit because I know that you and I, not only being sister friends and, knowing each other, and our careers have been similar, we've had a similar trajectory, not just professionally, but also personally as well, because I've been the main caretaker for my dad up until he passed. And you're also the main caretaker for your mom, who's currently living with you full time. And it's sometimes a balancing act. Sometimes it's not. It's a lot that goes into managing such a stellar career and taking care of a loved one full time. So can you talk to us a little bit about how you manage that and balance, if there is balance?
There's balance when you have the right company that you work for that's going to be supportive of the fact that they know you're the sole caregiver. It is not easy. And one of the reasons that I did want to discuss this briefly with you is that there's a lot of people that are dealing with this situation, having elderly parents that they have to care for, sometimes just children, that might be disabled or not, but are very active. And what I say to people is that you have to have patience. Like, I've been doing this now for 8 years, and what I've learned is a level of patience that I did not know I had. Unconditional love is a real thing. And just really letting the person who you're caring for realize how much you love them. You get some great caregivers. Don't be afraid to fire one if you don't feel like they are providing you what you need. But I have been very fortunate to have some really dynamic caregivers over the last 8 years that really became family members. And as a result of that, we would go to their homes and do birthday celebrations and things like that, because I always wanted there to be a level of normalcy. Just because it's a birthday, like, you want to celebrate a person and, to your point, give flowers while they're still alive.
Yes.
So that is something that is really, really near and dear to my heart. And my mother's my everything. She's the woman who I'm the woman I am because of the woman who really birthed me and has always been my biggest fan. And it is by far my most biggest accomplishment, not the list that we've been talking about, but how I'm able to care for my mother. That has definitely been my biggest accomplishment to date.
Wow. Wow. Beautiful. And I love your mom. She is a dynamic young woman. I'm going to say young woman.
Yes.
And she has definitely done a magnificent job. And, here's one more picture that just defines, like, that love, that happiness, that joy, and that inner spunk that she continues to have. And the dog too.
Yeah, and just for the record, for her 85th birthday, it was in the middle of COVID, and we couldn't do anything. I wanted to have a big party, couldn't do it. No one could fly in. So we watched Sunday Today show with Willie Geist every single Sunday. And I said, I want to be on the mugs of the week. So I took several different pictures and then posted them. And this was actually, they did pick it up. And a friend of mine said, only you, that's what you do for a living, huh? I said, I wanted to celebrate mom. And I wanted to do something that would be fun for all of us. And Joy is the baby of the house. She doesn't know she's a animal. She thinks she's a person. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I have one of those too that that's he's upstairs.
Yes.
But that is such a beautiful, beautiful time with your mom. And thank God she's continues to be with you, and all of it is just brings joy to you and just helps you to continue to be the beautiful person that you are. And I love that. Love
Thank
that.
you.
Now, we've talked about just a portion of your extensive career. And with 25 plus years experience, I know that you've gained wisdom and knowledge beyond what we can even talk about here on this space. But for those that are new or coming into the space of marketing and PR, or maybe even wanting to go into charity or nonprofit work, can you just spare 3 boss tips for them?
I will. First of all, it's important to understand that there are many different roles comprised in marketing and communications in a department, such as marketing, brand marketing, and public relations, and copywriters, and photographers, and videographers, and graphic designers, event planners, advertising, media buyers, digital, social, promotions, and sponsorships. You don't have to be a subject matter expert in all of these areas, but have some basic knowledge so that you are able to create short and long-term marketing campaigns, and just understand that this can help you in terms of moving up the corporate ladder. The second tip is marketing communications is not a 9 to 5, Monday through Friday career. Deadlines are critical, and sometimes work-life balance can be hard to navigate. Most people see the final event and campaign and want to work in this field because it looks like a lot of fun, but it is a lot of hard work. And there are many people that work behind the scenes to make an event successful. The next tip I will tell you is when starting a new role in a new company, take time to learn your job. I can't emphasize that enough. Learn the company culture. Ask questions and get clarity, and cultivate a relationship with your hiring manager. I hope that helps. And finally, I will say have some humility and grace.
Mm.
As professionals in a results-driven industry that is often very fast-paced, you will spend more time with your team members than family and friends. So ask people, how are they doing? Ask them, have a good weekend, or how was your weekend? You never want a person you never know what people are going through in their personal life. So I just say, have grace.
Wow. Wow. All right. Now, if you missed any part of that, this will be on the replay. So just rinse and repeat for those that missed any part of it. Thank you. Definitely, those are golden nuggets from the gold standard, I must say. Thank you so much for that, Holly. And again, I appreciate you being here and sharing just a little portion of your 25-year stellar career and all that you do, the work that you do, the person that you are. You're just top notch, bar none for me. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And it has been a lot of fun. And I hope that people learn something, which was really my goal. And more importantly, understand the great work we do at Hope Credit Union. Become a member and tell your family and friends who live in one of our 5 markets, join, because you're making a difference and impacting other people's lives.
Absolutely. So where can we find you online so that we can connect with you and just, learn more about the strategic partnerships and other things that you're doing?
Well, hopecu.org for all information, Hope, and then, or Hope Policy Institute if you're interested in learning more about some of the advocacy work that we do. For myself, I am on LinkedIn and Facebook, Holly A. Cooper, and you feel free to reach out, connect if you have additional questions. I love what I do. I always have. So I love mentoring. I love giving advice, and I love seeing people succeed in their goals and their dreams. I salute everybody.
All right, all right. And we got some shout outs coming through.
I see.
They definitely appreciate all that you bring and all that you have done through your work, not just in your career, but also definitely at Hope. And someone can ditto that Hope is amazing.
It is, and it's an honor to work with such a dynamic team and people that are committed to this mission. This is our 30th anniversary. We are going strong. So everybody hold on tight because you're going to see some great work and some great opportunities to support our mission.
Absolutely. Great, great. Well, again, thank you so much, Holly, for being a part of the show.
Thank
And just continue doing all that you do. And please tell Mom I said hi.
Send my love to the family. You know how we do.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
all for watching, and I'll see you the next episode.
Okay. Bye.